Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of Easy Buckets. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and talking about five shooting guards that I believe they should sign when talking about this upcoming offseason. The Lakers just got Russell Westbrook in a big blockbuster deal, and in that deal, they lost Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, their starting shooting guard. And if the Lakers want to improve their roster, signing the perfect SG is going to be very important. So if you're a big Lakers fan and want to know the best targets, let's get into it. I think when it comes to the Lakers free agency this summer, the shooting guard position is the most important. After getting Russell Westbrook, their starting lineup is basically Russell Westbrook point guard. They don't have a shooting guard, LeBron James small forward, Anthony Davis power forward, and of course they're still searching for their center. The reason why I believe the shooting guard position is so important is because they have to find a shooter, somebody that can score off the ball and simply be a great defensive factor. And with the Lakers losing KCP, who was their previous 3-and-D player, they have to really look deep in the free agency market to find the perfect available option. When talking about the Lakers' current payroll, they have a total of 5 players on their roster. Of course, they got Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they have Alfonso McKinney and Marc Gasol. And with the Lakers needing 10 more players to sign when it comes to completing the roster, I do believe they have to target at least 2 to 3 shooting guards. The biggest issue for the Lakers right now is after getting Russell Westbrook, they have no cap space, which means they have almost zero money to pay anybody. So anybody signing with the Lakers have to be okay with taking a veteran's minimum contract. So for this video, I'm going to be listing 5 players that I believe might take it, and if they do, it will make the Lakers team a whole lot better, especially at the starting shooting guard and backup shooting guard position. The first player on this list is talking about JJ Redick, and he's one of the most popular targets right now when it comes to a veteran, but more importantly, a deadeye knockdown sharp shooter. I just mentioned earlier that after getting Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, the Lakers need shooting. Every Laker fan out there is saying to get JJ Redick because Russell Westbrook is not a consistent shooter, and they need a backcourt player who simply is. JJ Redick is known in the NBA to be one of the best shooters, but what JJ Redick also brings to the table is his playoff experience. In JJ Redick's career, he has made the playoffs in every single season except 3. And with the Lakers also needing veteran experienced players because they're going all the way for the NBA championship, Redick would be perfect because Russell Westbrook and LeBron James are both past first players. JJ Redick's coming off a 2-year contract with the Pelicans, and with the Pelicans not expected to be a contender anytime soon, I do believe Redick won't re-sign and go to a true contender, and the Lakers are a favorite option right now. JJ Redick is a 40% 3-point shooter for his career, and last season, he averaged a little bit less than 40, but over 35. And with JJ Redick having a very focused personality to winning, I do believe him and Russell Westbrook would be a great backcourt at an all-around level. If the Lakers want pure shooting, the best shooter available in this year's free agency, JJ Redick is a primetime target. The next shooting guard on this list is DeMar DeRozan, and he is probably the most popular shooting guard that could land with the Lakers. When talking about DeMar DeRozan, he's coming off a big contract with the Spurs, and with him being a UFA, he is heavily right now being linked to the Lakers. From what DeMar DeRozan is saying, he spoke with LeBron James and Anthony Davis about the Russell Westbrook trade and spoke with the Lakers before they made the trade, and he even said he is willing to take a pay cut to join the Lakers. As of right now, we don't know the exact specifics, if he's going to actually take a lot less money or we're simply talking about an MLE, a mid-level exception. But right now with the Lakers having no options to do that, the only possible way to get DeMar DeRozan is through the veteran's minimum contract. DeMar DeRozan right now is still being considered to be one of the better shooting guards and small forwards in the NBA. He's a 4-time NBA All-Star and one of the best mid-range shooters in the league. And with him being a go-to scorer in the past, why wouldn't the Lakers want him at a 4th option, a player that can score plus 20 points per game? I would love to see a big 4 of Russ, DeMar, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, but the biggest problem with DeMar is that he's not a consistent 3-point shooter, and the Lakers need that right now. I do prefer JJ Redick over DeMar when it comes to 3-point shooting, but when it comes to scoring, being a reliable shooting guard that simply wants to win a championship, which is what DeMar DeRozan wants, DeMar is the best option on this list today. But going back, the question is, would DeMar DeRozan sign a veteran's minimum contract? If he does, that would shock me. The next shooting guard on this list is talking about Evan Fournier, and he's a great target when it comes to a scorer and also a veteran experienced leader. Evan Fournier is one of those NBA players that you highly respect. Even though he's not on a championship contender or hasn't really been in a real playoff situation, Evan Fournier is on a team and is always the leading scorer, or if anything, the go-to guy. Evan Fournier is a great catch and shoot player, a great shot creator, a great mid-range shooter, and I would say he's a pretty good on-ball defender. I would say KCP is better at defending, but when it comes to scoring, Evan Fournier proves to the NBA he could be a plus 20 points per game scorer, and he's done that many times. With Evan Fournier still being 28 years old, I want to see Evan in a true championship situation. But one thing to ask is that with Evan Fournier getting hit with so many injuries, do NBA contenders trust him to be a reliable shooting guard? As I'm making this video, Evan Fournier is playing on the Olympics France team, and he has been spectacular. France even beat Team USA, and of course Evan Fournier was the reason. And with Evan Fournier coming off a bad season with the Boston Celtics, only averaging about 13 points per game, I'm not sure if a team's going to offer him a lot of money, and that's why a veteran's minimum contract might be on his mind. I do prefer JJ Redick and DeMar DeRozan over Evan Fournier, but Fournier wouldn't be a bad idea as well if those two are unavailable. The next player on this list is talking about Reggie Bullock, and I believe he will be a great simply 3-and-D presence, a player to simply shoot the basketball, nothing else. If you guys don't know who Reggie Bullock is, basically last season he was the starting shooting guard for the New York Knicks and was a big reason why they made it all the way to the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, and was simply their go-to 3-point shooter. He shot about 6 threes a game, made 2.5, and averaged 41% behind the arc. Reggie Bullock is simply a high-volume 3-point shooter. With Reggie Bullock being 6'6" and weighing about 210 pounds, he has a versatility to be a pretty decent defender, an on-ball one and a perimeter one, and with him being 30 years old, NBA teams right now value Bullock as a great role player. I believe Reggie Bullock is a great option at the veteran's minimum. He is highly going to take that as other teams aren't going to offer him any more money. And the last shooting guard on this list is bringing back Ben McLemore. I simply want to see more from him in the purple and gold. When talking about last year, the Lakers signed Ben McLemore during the NBA trade deadline after he got bought up by the Houston Rockets. And with Ben McLemore being known in the NBA as a high-volume shooter, in the small doses we saw of him playing for the Lakers, I kind of like what I saw. He's a plus 40% 3-point shooter for his career, and more importantly, he's young and is only going to get better. And maybe getting primetime minutes because Wesley Matthews and KCP left, Ben McLemore could step up to the table. Ben McLemore is known to be a knockdown shooter, but when it comes to the corner threes, Ben McLemore averages more than 45% there, and with Russell Westbrook and LeBron James loving driving kicks, especially at the corners, Ben McLemore coming back to a veteran's minimum is highly likely. The Lakers already have interest, LeBron likes Ben McLemore. This is something I believe they should do. It's cheap, affordable, and there's nothing wrong and there's no risk. So yes guys, this wraps up my video for today, talking about the Lakers and 5 shooting guards I believe they should sign this upcoming offseason. What's most important to me is I want to know your thoughts. Which of these shooting guards do you believe is a top priority, and is there any other one that I missed? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on Easy Buckets. Woo!